56-year-old Ian Indridson was last seen on January 10, 2022 in the Fairfield area of Victoria, BC. In the days leading up to Ian's disappearance, he was having trouble sleeping and was stressed. The Victoria Police are asking the public for information to help find Ian. They are describing as high risk. He worked with the Ministry of Public Safety and Solicitor General and was previously a long-time public affairs officer with the BC government. On Ian's LinkedIn page, he describes himself with more than 26 years of full-time communications experience in government, corporate, advertising agency, and community newspaper environments. He goes on to say that he was a lead communicator on major legislative, policy, and budgetary announcements, extremely reliable performer under pressure and tight deadlines, extensive experience identifying emerging issues and developing responses, competent toastmaster, comfortable addressing public audiences and media. His experience is extensive within the BC government. He was, from January 2008 until he disappeared, a senior public affairs officer, government communications and public engagement with the Ministry of Justice, Victoria, BC. He served as a lead writer for strategic communications related to major legislation and announcements. Example, Missing Persons Act, immediate roadside prohibition launch. He also managed multiple projects at once. Example, response to media requests, review and edit branch correspondence and web content, develop messaging for emerging issues, write packages of communications materials for proactive announcements. He also developed urgent priority materials for the minister related to dynamic topics and issues. Example, gang and organized crime activity on the Lower Mainland. He reviewed embargoed internal and third-party reports to identify potential issues and develop related responses. He maintained strong working relationships with police media relations staff across BC. He organized events with police agencies and other partners, negotiating details and managing expectations to ensure the integrity of visual and verbal messages conveyed. He attended branch management meetings and negotiated timelines for various communications products. He previously headed a 3-member issues management team that processed and responded to up to 150 media requests a month. Before that, he spent 9 years at the Public Affairs Bureau as a manager, writing and editorial services, a communications manager, a public affairs officer, and a writer, and a senior communications officer. Before that, he was a communication officer by contract for BC Ferries, and finally, a writer, editor, producer for Copeland Communications. His education states that he attended the University of Victoria and received a bachelor's degree in writing with a minor in political science, and he attended Carleton University for journalism and completed his first year covered by a scholarship. Ian's wife, Gloria Mendez, has been with him for 17 years. She describes him as having an amazing laugh and a voice with a fantastic sense of humor, and he doesn't take himself too seriously. In conversations, he is very much an extrovert that can strike up a conversation with anybody about anything. If you met Ian, you would notice right away that he was personable, polite, well-mannered, and that he loves BC history, especially local history. He has a memory for trivia, and he has a really good memory, and he's super smart, and Ian is extremely resourceful. Gloria also stated that Ian had been experiencing terrible anxiety for the previous 4 days before disappearing. He was not sleeping, and this had been triggered by a job change. He was extremely agitated and basically having zero sleep. After speaking with a physician online because he couldn't get in to see a doctor in office, he was prescribed a very low dose of medication that would help him out of his anxiety. He took 1 pill, and she said that it really didn't do anything. And at 7:15 the next morning, she woke up and could hear her husband playing with their dog Willow. She thought to herself, "Good, he's doing something normal, and he's going to be okay." She fell asleep and woke up a half an hour later again at 7:50. Willow was on the bed, and as she entered the kitchen, she noticed a dirty pan on the stove with the evidence of 2 cooked eggs that he had fried and eaten, as was his custom, and an empty cup of coffee next to his desk, but he was not in the house. She said that Ian was very considerate and would never leave for a walk or leave to go anywhere without saying something, but that morning he did, and I kind of freaked out, she said, and called the police because he had been in this state of anxiety. Gloria said that there is just no way that the Ian she knows would have walked out on his family and his life. The search for Ian Indridson involved searches along the coastline and beaches, parks, wooded areas, and everywhere throughout his neighborhood. Gloria also believes that the police were not forthcoming with details about his case, so she hired a private investigator. Tips came in that he may have been spotted in Duncan, BC and Vancouver, but upon further investigation, the clues were ruled as mistaken identity. Gloria believes that maybe he headed down Dallas Road that morning, but no one claims to have seen him there or anywhere else in the busy neighborhood where people walk, jog, and take their pets out for walks. In the latest Facebook post, in the Find Ian Indridson Facebook page, it is written on April 10th, 2024, that Ian still hasn't been found, and after 27 unbearable months, Gloria asks that we keep sharing his face and his story. Someone somewhere knows something. We will not give up our search. He has a home and a family, and he is missed desperately. Ian Indridson is a Caucasian male. He stands 5 feet 11 inches tall and weighs approximately 175 pounds. He has brown hair with gray throughout. He may have facial hair. He wears glasses, and he was wearing dark sweatpants and wearing rubber boots as well. He is friendly and intelligent. He left his ID, wallet, keys, and phone behind. If you have seen Ian or have any idea on his whereabouts, please contact the Victoria Police Department at 250-995-7654 extension 1 and quote file number 22-1017.